Hi, I'm Kevin Scott with 100 Huntley Street, and I am excited to be joined today by Bart Newman, who's the Vice President and General Counsel for Thrive Farmers Coffee. And they have an incredible story of how they're impacting farmers literally around the world to bring coffee to major markets. Bart, it's good to be with you today.
Kevin, thank you. Appreciate you giving me the opportunity.
Absolutely. So tell us, what is Thrive Farmers?
Thrive Farmers is basically a platform to improve the lives of farmers. It was not some great entrepreneurial business school adventure by a bunch of smart folks. It was a bunch of farmers on the farm that were struggling through coffee, and they needed to find a solution. And they found a solution through a farmer direct model to essentially break the commodities market that stops small farmers from really having a sustainable life and a sustainable living. That's what Thrive Farmers is.
Okay, and where do you work? Where do you find these farmers?
All over Central America. So we have farmers in Africa now. We're looking at farmers all over the globe, but our main hub is in Central America, Costa Rica, Guatemala, even some in Honduras, El Salvador. Lots of the main coffee producing regions of the world that create great specialty grade, high quality coffee.
And so these are farmers who've created great coffee really for a long time, but they weren't really they didn't have a channel to distribute their coffee, or if someone came in to distribute it, they weren't paying them a fair wage, isn't it? Is that part of the story?
That is a part of the story. Most people don't know this, but coffee is the second largest commodity traded in the world, only second to oil. And coffee is traded on commodity markets and all over the globe, and that goes up and down. It's a volatile commodities market. So the problem that farmers have, especially small farmers, is they do not know from year to year whether the crops that they're going to produce, whether they're going to make enough money to pay the cost to produce them. So they have no sustainability. They have no predictability for the future. So Thrive came together to say, we're not going to buy coffee from farmers anymore. We're going to partner with coffee. We're going to make farmers partners in this venture. We're going to share with transparency and traceability our revenues that we get from our sellers directly with them, and we're going to break the commodities market. They're not going to have to face this unpredictability that's killing farmers. So these small farmers that have not had scale, they've not had power, the people with power, the exporters, the importers, the traders, the big estates. We want to empower those farmers so they can have a better life. You know, every time I go down there, it's crazy. Us that live here in America and Canada, we have rich people problems a lot of times. We think we have problems, but they're rich people problems. You go down there and they have a different set of problems. And when you, through this model, can help farmers earn 4 times as much, 5 times as much, sometimes 10 times as much money as they've previously been able to do. That's the difference between them being able to send their kids to school and not send their kids to school. That's the difference being able to do the things in their community they want through medical care, dentistry care. Basic things that we take for granted. Through this partnership, we can empower small farmers so they can have a better life.
Wow, that's really cool. So as Vice President of National Accounts, it's your job to come in the North American market and connect this story with companies, I guess, who want to sell this coffee. How do you do that?
Well, we reach out to them. The story sells itself. We just tell them, say, this is what we're doing on behalf of small farmers everywhere. There's a problem in coffee, and the problem with coffee is the commodities market, and it creates volatility and unpredictability. So one farmer does not know from year to year whether they're going to make enough money to be sustainable. We want to break that. And if you partner with us, you don't have to pay any more. But if you partner with us, you can help us break that. And what we can do is together, we can improve the lives of small farmers. So what we found is that great brands here in the United States, they care about great coffee, but they also want to know that the choices they make with what they buy does some sort of social good. We give them the opportunity to know that you can have the greatest coffee in the world and still do social good.
It's so true. I think about especially a younger generation that literally chooses companies they do business with the way that a previous generation chose charities. They want to, when they spend their dollars, they want to know that they're a part of something. So have you met any of these farmers? Can you tell me a story of a farmer who's been impacted?
Oh, there's so many, but I'll speak to one. There's a farmer named Franco Garbanzo in the mountains of Costa Rica, and he's the most humble, lovely man that I've probably ever met. He loves farming coffee. His hands are rough with the practice of farming coffee. He's a man that works with his hands, but he loves coffee, and he decided to join with Thrive because he knew the coffee market had to change. He wanted his children to be able to stay in coffee. He's had generations of families in coffee, but the families are leaving coffee. He wanted his kids to stay in coffee. He knew it had to change. So he joined with us to help be almost a missionary of coffee to other farmers across Costa Rica and even to Guatemala and even in Honduras. He's gone with us to these places and said, we can change and do coffee together. And he's been a great ambassador for Thrive and what Thrive can do on behalf of small farmers. Just an incredible, wonderful man. And what's interesting about it is we do all this stuff. He doesn't want money. He cares about, he values other things. He values friendships. He values people. He values knowing that he's delivering coffee in the U.S. and in Canada that the consumers love and that is improving the lives of the communities that he comes from.
Well, it's cool to know that when you buy a cup of Thrive Farmers coffee that you're helping a farmer like that. Okay, now I get the good side and all of that. Now give me the sales pitch. Tell me why, does this coffee actually taste good?
Yes, it does. Thrive Farmers coffee is the best cup of coffee you can buy commercially. And every cup you drink directly improves the lives of the farmers that grow it. Those two things are impactful. And if everybody that's watching this can remember that, with your cup of coffee, you can have the best and you can make a difference.
Okay.
Drink Thrive Farmers coffee.
I love it. Now, this idea of kind of free trade and contributing and getting fair market value for products is so important. What would you say to the North American consumer, in addition to just the coffee market, how can we make purchasing decisions that help improve the lives of people out of our countries and not just take advantage of people?
Yep. It's about consciousness about the ingredients that you eat and drink. Know what you eat and drink. Know where it comes from. Know who grows your food. Know who grows your coffee. Take awareness of where it comes. All these foods, all the things you eat and drink come from places. And there's real people and real families tied to providing them. In the coffee world, lots of times they're very rural, they're very humble, in some cases very poor people. But with your decision, and if you choose to buy differently, you can improve their lives. And the people that get cut out are needless middlemen, people that are a part of the supply chain that don't need to be a part of the supply chain. You can cut them out with your decision, and you can empower these small farmers so they can empower their communities.
Really, really cool. All right, where can we pick up Thrive Coffee?
Lots of great places, Earth Fare grocery stores, Cook's Warehouse here in Atlanta, Georgia. You can get it online, and then obviously at every Chick-fil-A in the United States of America.
Okay, and so it can be bought online?
It can be.
All right,
absolutely.
Thrive Farmers Coffee. Really cool story, Bart. Thanks so much for being with us today.
Kevin, appreciate it. This has been a lot of fun.
Thank you.
Thank you.